Grand Rising. Good morning. Good morning. I know we starting late. Had some business stuff going on with the somebody taking over the space where my popcorn shop was at. So I had to deal with them this morning. I still got to deal with them. They're over there signing the lease right now. So good morning. And we will. Today is Wednesday, and what do we talk about on Wednesday? We talk about tantric relationships. That's right. But we're talking about relationships on Wednesday. So today we're talking about tantric relationships and why you should or should not have one. And some of the things that if you decide that you want to have a tantric relationship with someone, the things that you need to truly understand as far as going forward in having that type of relationship with somebody and how to have that relationship with someone. Um, so that's what we're talking about today. We're going to give some people some time to get on here, and I want to thank you for joining this channel. If you're finding us for the first time, what we talk about on this channel is primarily spirituality. Um, we deconstruct religion. We are a group of people who have decided that we have walked away from traditional religions, and we are seeking our own path. We are not codifying a new religion. It is the seeking of our own path um, that we do that we do in this group on this page. We're not trying to become another religion. We're not trying to form another religion. Now, on Wednesdays is when we talk about relationships because we are more interested in the discovery of the entire person. We're interested in the growth of the entire person. So that is why we are here. That's the purpose of this channel. Now, what I'm doing right now is trying to be a little bit distracting, and I'm trying to figure out how to share uh, onto another group. Yes, that's what I'm trying to figure out here, onto one of my other pages, but it's just not working out for me right now because usually I do this on Wednesday on Facebook. It's not on this same group, but I'm trying to share it to both. Um, Maybe I should have put it on the other group and shared it over to this particular page. But we live and we learn. So I want you guys to start thinking about, as we prepare for this, I want you guys to start thinking about your relationships and what type of relationship do you truly have and that you desire to have. Um, and if you're in a committed relationship, a truly committed relationship, but you know that it could be better, how can you make it better? What can you do to make it better? Um, and in one sense, as you are trying to make it better, good morning, Angela. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? As you are, yeah, when you come in, let me know who you are and where you at. But we are, oh shit, it was right here the whole time. So there we go, we're done. It's so funny. Out of all the videos that I've ever done over the last 12 plus years, my most the two videos that I watched the most, I can't even talk right now because I haven't lit my cigar yet. The two videos that I watched the most are the videos called The Secret of Tantric Sex. One is 101 and 102. We've talked about spirituality left and right. But my two tantric videos are the two most watched videos I've ever made. To a certain degree, I had thought about, oh, but shit, that's where I just need to focus all my time, just talking about that. But I find to talk about one thing is boring. I don't want to talk about one thing. I would kill over and die if I only could talk about one thing. So hence we are here. If you know anything about Tantra, what do let me know. Let me know if you've ever studied Tantra, you know something about Tantra. It's interesting. If you practice Tantra currently, now if you're practicing tantric person, you are going to go deeper in your mind, and then you're going to go deeper than what we're going to talk about today, because this is more. I find that most people have a misconception of the idea of tantra and what it is, and how to have a tantric relationship. Um, so as you're thinking about your experience in tantra, if you had any or not, uh, definitely want you to understand this. Tantra is not for everybody, and tantra is not a religion. It's not a religion at all. It is part of several religions, actually. It is part of several religions. Um, what the freak? And because it's part of several religions, people, especially Western-minded people, have tried to condemn it. They want to put it into a negative light, right? Aloha, Shanti. But people have tried to put tantra in a negative light, uh, because they're focused on the fact of the sexual aspect of it. And they want to say that it's all sexual, and that's the only aspect of it. They want to talk about the Kama Sutra and the sexual positions. They went to India, they saw the statues up there. Now, and to give you a little bit of background on that, yes, that was one of the things when the Europeans went over to India and they saw all the statues, they immediately, because of their Puritan Christian mindset, turned it into something negative. And they made it lewd. They made it something that those people should not be practicing. They made it completely about, lust and things of that nature, because they had this Christian purity mindset that was not the focus of tantra. I need to make one adjustment to this camera. And no, you cannot. But I'm looking too high. But they and like most things, when an invading force comes in and they take over, they conform whatever the people of that area is doing to make it fit into what they believe it is based on their culture. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing? Uh, so that's what happened with Tantra and the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Shiktas, and the Jainis, who all practice a form of Tantra, got convoluted in Western mentality of what the Europeans thought it was when they showed up, not realizing that it's not what they think it is. So we're going to try to clear some of that up today. And I want to hear what's going on in you guys' lives as far as your relationship life. And there are different things and techniques that you can utilize in order to make your relationships better just by doing tantric practices. And you don't have to become any religion or nothing like that. The beauty about tantra is that it doesn't require a lot. It really doesn't. It requires your body and your mind. That's it. That's the main things that it requires. And it's easily relatable. For instance, some of you can think about the fact that if you were to, how can I say this? Oh, what makes you happy in a relationship? What makes you feel connected to your person in a relationship, right? You go out on vacation, and y'all on vacation, y'all feel so connected. How many of y'all been tricked? You were the relationship was falling apart, but then y'all went on vacation, and on vacation, y'all feel so connected to one another, and y'all, it's such a joyful, peaceful, fun, connected time that from that experience, you think, you know what? He or she might be all right. We might be able to make it. This, I was going to leave this relationship, but, let me stay in this relationship, because I'm remembering, this person. I'm remembering who I'm with. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I'm shit. But I'm remembering who I'm with. I'm feeling the love, right? I'm feeling the love. How many of y'all have, knowing that a relationship should be ending, you shouldn't be in this relationship, but you get to that point where you take a vacation or you go out on a date or something like that, and you get re-energized into the relationship. Jeremy said my relationship is with is with myself, being ignoring it for a while. When I do open back up to another, I'm definitely changing and practice what I was before. Uh, I took self healing time. That's good. That's good. You should. That's what you should do. When you get back into it, yeah, you practice what you was who you were before. That took self healing. It took some self healing to do that, and you want to practice who you were before, as long as that's who you want to be, and as long as that's who you want to be, then and that's a great version of yourself. You should definitely practice that. Uh, and I want to know who's been on that. Like I've experienced that thing where I was in a relationship that I knew I should end, but we went on a cruise. It was so much fun. We had such a good time, and then you get back, and you still kind of like flowing off of that good time, and then the stuff that makes you say I don't want to be in this relationship starts kicking in again, and then it's like you know what, I don't want to be in this relationship. But then you go on another cruise, and you feel that way again, or it's this other vicious cycle. I hate this vicious cycle. We're in a relationship. Intimacy is not where I want it to be. It's not what it used to be. It's not where how it started. It's not what captivated me and caught me into the relationship. Not that that was the only thing that got me into a relationship, but it wasn't what moved me into the relationship initially. So I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm gonna tell you that in just a minute, Holly. I'm feeling that some kind of way about it. I say something. For the next 2, 3 weeks, things are great because they're adhering to what they originally initiated. But then it starts ebbing away. A couple months later, I say something again. Everything gets reinvigorated. Then for about 2 weeks, and then it starts ebbing away again. And I say something again. So it's became this repetitive yo-yo that every 3, 4 months we got to have this discussion just to have 2 good weeks as far as the intimacy was concerned. That yo-yo drove me insane. It got on my everlasting nerve, right? So the beauty of tantra is that it doesn't require, it requires consistency, but it doesn't require something as far as like an argument, nor does it require something as um, it doesn't require the expense to the level of taking cruises all the time, or going on vacations, or going on expensive dates and things of that nature. You see, one of the problems in America that the Western mentality and mindset is that in order to, like, most people, they'll advise you when your relationship is struggling is to say, well, you got to spice it back up. Y'all need to start dating again. Okay, dating can become expensive, and if I got to continue to, if I or she have to continue to show you this outside the house good time, outside, the state, going on vacations good time, in order for us to spice up the relationship, just be under the clear understanding that this is something you're going to have to do consistently. Ali says swinging, maybe. That if you're into, so if you and your partner can have that adult conversation, have that maturity, and understand that swinging, the any other participant in a swinging situation is just a toy, and there is no emotional connection, and you have that maturity to be fair and know what each person is willing to do and not do, then yes, uh, is yeah, yeah. You have to truly, to do that. It can be hard. Your emotions and your mental have to be in check, and you have to know what you can handle and what you can't handle. He has to know what he can handle and he cannot handle, and so does she. Yeah, both, everybody has to know what they can handle, what they can't. And it may not seem fair, but can you handle what the other person desires? If you can't, then y'all shouldn't do it. It's really that simple. Um, Now, is as far as tantra, right? Relationship boundaries and from boundaries, form boundaries from the start. Yeah, exactly. You should definitely have your boundaries from the start. Like for me, I'm straight up. I'm right up front from the beginning of what I want, what I don't want, what I'm looking for, what my boundaries are, what my expectations are. Person can't do it, they should move on. And my standards don't change. It doesn't. It's not like one of those. I'm going to say these things, but then as you violate them in the relationship, then I'm going to let it pass. No, I'm not going to let it pass. No, why should I? So Holly asked, like, how can you incorporate? Wait a minute, what she say? About 20 years. How do you incorporate it after 20 years? So we're talking about tantra. Incorporating tantra, it doesn't matter how long it's been, how long you've been in a relationship. You just have to be two willing participants. A person has to be willing. Now, there are certain ways, certain tantric practices that can be incorporated without the other person's knowledge that you're doing something that is tantric. Um, but some of the things that are tantric that you can incorporate into your relationship does not require a whole bunch of study and things of that nature. This is why I don't go deep into all the history of Tantra and all the other um, aspects of it. And I keep it really, really simple for people. Tantra is a Sanskrit word that means weaving together. So just think about it in that term. We're coming together, right? So when you are weaving, it's the weaving of your two energies together, the weaving of your bodies together, your life together, your mental, your physical, your spiritual together. True. Karma Sutra is the positions that are the sexual positions that are involved in it, but that is not Tantra. Uh, but something as simple as if every week you took a bath together, but not just a regular bath. Not a bath specifically designed for cleaning, but a bath designed for sharing of one's energy. In the second video that I did about Tantra, I talked about the fact that water conducts electricity really easily. It's a huge conductor of electricity. Sitting in the water, the two of you, you're sharing tantric moments of reinforcing each other, delighting in each other, talking, uplifting each other. You can have your candles and flower petals and whatever else you'd like. But one important thing is having certain frequencies playing over your phone or through some speaker system where you're playing a heart chakra or a foundation chakra or sacral tones throughout the bathroom. Many people would think, oh, let me play my R&B music. That's okay to a certain extent, but you have to be really conscious of what the lyrics are. And do you want to be sitting there switching the song every time some gratuitous song is played? Or when one of them sad, I lost my woman, I lost my man song is played? Because understand the words are frequencies, and these frequencies are being shared. They're coming inside your energy. They're flowing through the water. So, if you're so think about it like this: when you're making love and you got the Pandora playing or whatever you use, Amazon Music, whatever, and then here comes the song that's playing that's talking about how your lady cheated on you or your man done cheated on you and done gone off with somebody, and now you all alone, but and all this stuff. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. You know, what was that song? Everybody used to love this song back in the 80s. And was it Slept the Night Away? I don't know the name. I think that's the name of it. You know how it goes. It goes, as we slept the night away. It starts out this morning, sunshine comes across, you go sleep in face. But I think it's called Slept the Night Away. I'm not sure. People love that song, dance to that song, like, oh, that song grew. Yeah, as we lay. Thank you, Angie. Is that a song that you should be making love to? It's a song about two people cheating on each other. You see what I'm saying? Those lyrics, those words, they infiltrate. So you have to be mindful of all the sounds. So when you're like taking these baths with each other, sharing this moment, share this moment, speaking great to each other. It is much safer just to play a solfeggio beats, solfeggio tones, or binaural beats, or chakra tones, or meditation mantras. Mantras is very important in developing your that kundalini energy, and kundalini energy is that base energy that winds up like a serpent from the base of the spine. This is why your medical symbols have the serpent. They're getting it from the kundalini energy, but you want to be able to share that time. So Holly, you can incorporate things like massages. What's up, Dark Green? You can incorporate things like massages. You can incorporate, but it's not just, oh, I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna massage you, or you're gonna get massaged. It's a focus of mind while you're doing the massage. But to do massages, to let me tell y'all something. A good back scratching. Oh my gosh! But you ain't just got to scratch the back. You can scratch the head, the arms, the shoulders, the legs. A good all over body scratching. Oh, boy, you want to move some energy. You want to feel. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. Y'all know how it feels to get your back scratched. So imagine, you know, it being purposely done all over your body, but in such a different way. Yeah. So, ladies, y'all been missing out. Y'all been messing up, rather. Y'all been trying to give us massages all the time. Scratch your brother up, give him a back scratch. Scratch his back of his neck, his head. His head. His arms, legs. You know, um, what that lady tells Miss Seeley. She scratches out my head when I was ailing. I'm telling you give that man some good scratching. Whoo! But it's all about the surrounding energy that you want to move into the person and move into your relationship. That's exactly what it is, Coach. In the coming together of energies, I see it as bringing back the full togetherness of the male and female, and that's exactly right. Like, it's funny, people always want to question why I wear this unk. They always get the people saying that, oh, he's trying to be Egyptian and he's attaching to Egyptian. No, this is a representation of the balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. That is what tantric is about. Tantra is about, it's about balancing of the masculine and the physical, and it's about a joining of the um, masculine and the feminine energy, the Shiva and the Shakti. If you want to go by the actual Sanskrit names, the Shiva and the Shakti, but bringing those two energies together and forming union. And that's the idea of tantra, is that you form a union, a deeper union with your mate. And these practices are not hard. They're not hard at all. Uh, One simple thing, like me and my lady, we do this every morning. She actually initiated it, um, but it is a tantric practice, and that is before you separate from one another, you hold each other and speak energy into each other. Now I know y'all are gonna say, well, damn, it's a lot of churches and people have been saying speaking, been saying this kind of thing over the last 10, 12 years. When I was going to church, nobody talked about speaking energy into you, or speaking like goodness into you. But over these last like 10, 12 years, it's become a thing within churches. But it's originally a tantric practice that you would hold your mate and tell them that they are wonderful, that they are amazing, they're intelligent. That we used to say, "Oh, you're beautiful, baby. You're fine, baby. You're handsome," and all these sorts of things. But to tell them, that they are a great speaker, you're kind, you're gentle, to speak into them and speak of them how you see them is a tantric practice, right? Um, Now, men, this morning it was a little off because I was talking trash about my Hawks beating Boston last night. But on the norm, that's all we do. That's how we separate when we get ready to separate from each other. Now, men, 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 my dudes, it is very important for you to understand this. You need to take time to, your lady is laying, she's laying down or she's kneeling, and you cover her. And when you cover her, you you are sharing, and you need to cover her where your chest is right at her back, right at her heart, and you're covering her, and you are speaking protection over her. You are speaking security over her. Even though this is a repeat, this portion is a repeat of something I've said before in the video 5 years ago. When you, most women, not all, but most women have had some type of molestation issue in their childhood, in their adulthood, some type of issue, whether verbal or physical. And that type of protection helps to continue the healing or fully solidify the healing process that they've already been going through. So to but even if she hasn't, just to hold her and speak protection and security over her, but you have to cover her, right, in order to do so. So in covering your woman, and it shouldn't be something that you do every blue moon. It should be something that you do quite often. Now, like I said before, don't do this until you know you're sure about this person. I did it to people who didn't. I did a little bit to certain people who didn't deserve it. I would give myself a massage after the shower later and practice some self-care and self-love. Since there's nobody else to do it for, do it for or with me. Better honor myself instead of being with someone who won't feel as I do. And there's nothing wrong with you doing it to yourself to invigorate self-love. Um, and that'll also have you in practice to be ready to do it for someone or with someone once you have that, once you determine somebody who is worthy of that. So there's nothing wrong with doing it to yourself, Shanti. Uh, the only thing I warn about the self-love thing is that sometimes people can do so much self-love work that there's no room to allow somebody else to love you. If, I know that doesn't sound logical to a certain degree, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of women on these podcasts. And the self-love mantra has almost grown to a level of arrogance and defensive mechanism. Like I'm practicing so much self-love that I don't even want to deal with nobody else because I'm out here and I'm having fun and I'm enjoying myself and it's all about me and my self-love. It sounds like to a man, and I could be completely off, but to a man, it sounds like I've been hurt so many times that I don't want to be hurt again. So I'm just going to love myself and enjoy the rest of my life. And I don't want nobody else. And I'm going to keep you away from me. Uh, because one, you either going to come in here and mess my stuff up, or two, I am just so in love with myself that I ain't got time to deal with you. So as a man, when I see that, I'm like, she's not approachable. And that's not with every woman. It's just some of the ones who push that. It's like, oh my God, it's almost like when like they ready to march down the street, self-love march. I would not be surprised one day to see a self-love march happen. um, but it has to be in all things. There must be a balance. In all things, there must be a balance. There may not be anybody there now, but make sure that there's a door open for someone, that you're approachable, um, that when you see a person, you can actually see the person and not be, that just so that you can see a person. Freedom said on Facebook, I mean YouTube, as a woman, I can attest to, I can attest that is true. Yeah, I mean I don't want it to be, but it's just my observation of a lot of people, a lot of women I see, and on the man side, it's it's a little bit different. It's not about self love. It's about financial protection. It's about financial protection. Men going on there, all they want is money. All they want to do is just take my money. They just want to see what I got. They're not really interested in me. Nah, bro. Yeah, you might have been burned, and there are some women out there who are that way, just like there are some men out there who are hurting women. But when you start to say that all women, when you start using finite terms of all women just want is money and all women this and all women that, you just a hurt puppy, and you need to grow up and become a big dog. You gotta take the time to evaluate. Greetings and blessings. How you doing? At water, right? It's a protective shield, and in order to practice tantra within a relationship, the shield has to come down. Now, I will say, when you're with somebody, if they've been showing themselves that they are worthy of your tantric practices, you let them in slowly. All right. So, and this is because, you said it's a protective shield. Don't go too far too fast. Don't get me wrong. I love my lady, right? There are still certain tantric practices that we have not done yet, right? I have a desire to do some of them, but I just know it's too early to do them. Right? Like a heart hold meditation. And this is why I say tantric is bodily practice. A heart hold meditation is when you sit with each other. You can sit in a yab yum position, um, but she sits in front of me. I sit, and she crosses her legs around your waist. Now I can't cross my legs, so that's not gonna happen. But so you can still sit with your legs straight out, and she's sitting on your thighs. You take your make sure. I know y'all camera is backwards on the camera, so I'm trying to do it. But you take your right. This is actually my right hand. Take your right hand, you put it on her back, right where her heart is. Take the left hand, you put it on her heart. So you're holding her body like this, right? And then she does the same to you, where she puts her right hand on your back, her left hand on your heart. And then you come into a unity of breathing with each other, right? And as you're breathing with each other, if you have the desire to start speaking love to one another, then you speak love to one another. If you don't have that, whatever you desire you have to speak, you speak it. Um, when you and it shouldn't be, oh, he said something, so let me say something, or she said something, so let me say something. It shouldn't be that. It should be natural. It should be what your energy, what your heart is telling you to say. Oh, she said that she is in love with me. I better say that I'm in love with her. No, you don't say that unless you are there. Unless you're there. This is you don't say, she said I'm the love of, he said that I'm the love of his life. I better say that he's the love of my life. No, you only say what's true. You only say what's true. And this is where the ego has to be like, well, damn, I told her I was in love with her and she just said I love you too. uh, don't get your feelings hurt. You have to be stronger. You have to be better than that. uh, I said that she was the best person. That was the best, that she's the best sexual partner I ever had. She just said, oh, thank you, baby. I didn't get it in return. Don't say things with the expectation of a return. You are only in a heart hold meditation. You're speaking your truth to her. She's speaking her truth to you about each other. But the main thing is the sharing of that energy. Now, this Ankh is a beautiful representation of that energy because you are breathing from your sacral chakra, right? Meaning that you're in your breathing, you're imagining that you're pulling the air in through your pum pum and your ping ping, and that the air surges up to your heart. Then it goes out of your heart, right? Out the back, and goes around both of y'all. So it goes around into her back and back into your heart. So it becomes this energy coming up and going around and all the way and being reciprocal, right? So When I say that I wear this unk for multiple reasons, understand I wear this unk for multiple reasons, because it is the sharing of your sexual energy, rotating it up to your heart, and then it going out of your heart and coming around into her, and hers going out and coming into you, therefore never losing that energy. And actually, I said that in the wrong way. It goes from your heart into her, out her back, and goes around, and hers goes into you, out your back, and goes around. So I said that kind of backwards. What's the purpose of this? It is to build deeper relationships. It is to build a deeper relationship with you and your partner. Wednesdays is always about a relationship at water. Yeah. Did I miss? I get myself inside. I don't practice enough self-love. I had to remind myself just not taking shit anymore. 51 soon. No, and you shouldn't. You should not. You're chemically sensitive to perfume, smoking, alcohol, drinking, people. Also, don't. God dang. Tantra is like communion with someone else, like breathing together. Enjoy if you can. I'm surviving here and need to heal. Yeah, and you should take that time. Mm, 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 mm. Well, on that note, let me get my cigar. um, but yes, so taking that time in, sorry, contact moved on me a little bit there, but taking that time, doing a heart hold meditation. Let me tell you, that's very special. That's very special. Um, been asked to do it, rarely have done it. Yeah, memory serves me. I think I've only done it once. I can't think of another person I did it with. And then I did it with that person. I only did it one time. I don't think we ever did it because they, you know, it just wasn't for them. So here's what it is. But you do have to have a willing participant, somebody who understands it. That's why it's great to have somebody to guide you through it and teach you about it, both of you, so that you can understand it. And if you have questions, you can ask questions. What is the what are some of the proper ways to show yourself self love as a man? I don't think I've ever done this. See, here we go. Self love. It is good to have self love. Just don't make it too big of a thing in your life. But as a man, ways to show self love is to control the little brain, control the little brain, control the lust. Um, Oftentimes, let me tell y'all ladies something. We men can do some dumb shit for some poom poom. You hear what you miss. Talking about tantric relationships today. It's Wednesday, relationship day. Don't do a heart hold meditation without knowing that this is somebody you want to be with long term. So, but right now, my man Britwater, we're talking about some self love for men. Don't let the little head dictate your life. When you can control the little head, you can control the outcome of a lot of things in your life. That's one of the biggest self loves a man can. This is two big self loves a man can have, and that's one. The other self love is the self love of ego. Egotism in men is a huge downfall. Egotism in men prevents men from being able to embrace the nurturing aspect of their life, uh, especially when you're younger, because you have to have the bravado. You have to show yourself to be a manly man in front of all the other men. And at the end of the day, if you have children, they don't benefit from the all male. They don't benefit. Your wife won't benefit from the all male. Your community won't benefit from the all male. Yes, you know when to protect. You know when to whoop some ass. You know how to go out and get things done, but you also have to know how to nurture and care and take and I know men aren't allowed to show their emotions especially in front of other men. Well, I mean, well, hell, we're not allowed to show our emotions. Period. If you show it too much in front of other men, it's like he weak. And if you show too much emotion in front of a woman, you weak. But then women want you to show emotion. But men are emotional creatures as well. Let me watch a movie and they have one of them fatherly scenes with their kids. Oh, bro, I'm choking up. I'm choking up. And I don't give a damn if y'all know it. I'm choking up because being a father is very important to me. You know, so those scenes get me every time. It could be a shitty movie, have one of them scenes in it. Man, that movie was pretty decent. That movie was pretty decent. Have a good father scene. It was a pretty decent movie. So, you know, those are two main things how a man can show self love to himself, and then because off of those things, you are smarter and wiser with your money. You're smarter and wiser with your time. Um, you know how to take care of yourself and everyone around you, both from the perspective of nurturing as well as instructing and protecting. So you become more of a full man, more of a full alpha man at that point, instead of just being, you know, some little weakling, some little dude who gets told to do everything. Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a warrior. Exactly. Wait a minute. Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. That is true. It is better to be a warrior in a garden. Right. Um, and if I understand that one correctly, it is better to be a warrior who can plant a garden and grow a garden and provide and nurture a garden. But when it's time to go to war, you're still a warrior. Than being a gardener, somebody who only knows how to nurture, but then when it's time to go to war, you don't know how to fight. So that's my interpretation of what my guy, my brother Marine is talking about. Um, because I went straight Zen with it, straight Zen. But yes, so as I was saying, the to do a heart hold meditation, you need to make sure that you are. This is somebody who has shown themselves to have long-term potential. Now you ain't got to wait till you get married and all that sort of thing in order to do it. You can do this beforehand. Um, Matter of fact, I would advise it being done beforehand. When you know that this person is somebody that you want to spend the rest of your time with, that's when you that's when this practice begins, right? And it's something that you do over and over again, right? At least once a month. At least once a month. Let me tell y'all, and, and then there are other tantric practices that you can do with one another. You see, Western culture takes sex and make it all about, you know, the getting it, right? It's just about getting it. But have you ever just taken the time that is where you touch your mate when she's on top of you, touching her heart, when she's below you, touching her, holding on to her heart. Ladies, touching your man's heart. Whether you hold, like doing a heart hold while having sex, right? That's a big deal. To hold on to each other's hearts and the back while having sex, because at the point of orgasm and during the sexual experience is when you are at one of your highest energy points, as well as your mind is more open, right? There have been times where I've been meditating and I couldn't go nowhere. All I got was looking at behind my eyelids. That's it. Couldn't The mind couldn't get anywhere. It was stuck. And then went, you know, we had some good sex, good kind, and that orgasmic energy. I meditated after that, and the mind is completely open. It's clear, right? So that sexual energy, to be able to meditate during that, to be able to focus during that time frame on the relationship itself, on the energy that you want to transmit to each other. That is some of the most powerful energy that you have. I told you guys before in the sexual in sex magic videos that there are couples who talk during that point of sex, they talk about and manifest about what they want to manifest because they know that's the high energy point, you know. And I've even seen people who aren't even they are religious people do this. Like, it was this couple when I was like, what, 16 years old, 16, 17, when they used to get it and you could hear them. They would sit up there and they would be like, getting it, and they thanking Jesus for the house that they about to get, thanking Jesus for the healing of somebody in their family, thanking Jesus for, whatever, whatever it is that they trying to manifest in their life, they doing the thanking Jesus for it while they having sex. And I have to say, those people was getting every goddamn thing that they were saying. Well, I ain't gonna say everything, but most of the things that they were saying during sex, they were receiving. So I want you to think about that. When you are saying things during sex, whether they are intentional or not, you are using some of the most powerful energy that you have as far as your mental creativity is concerned. And we know that everything in the universe is mental. All things of creation start mentally. When they wanted to build an airplane, it first was an image in their mind. You know, everything starts mental. So if you are not getting it, and you saying you my B, you my N, you bastard, you know, oh you motherfucker, you in there saying all this stuff. You saying this at the height of your sexual energy. You know, you see what I'm saying? Can I ask how long have you been in your current relationship? So we have known each other for almost a year and a half, and we have been dating since August. So like we became friends, and then we started dating. So August, September, October, December, January, February, March, April. So about almost 9 months. Time to have a baby. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny, but yeah. So we've been knowing each other for a year and a half. Been dating for 9 months. Yeah. But the good thing about it, I will say this, is it's a beautiful thing that we became friends first. Because if we had only been dating for 9 months, I would have been a little bit. I wouldn't have been as free to open myself up to her as quickly as I have, because you know. And we actually made it. We actually said to each other when we first started dating. I told her, "Don't ever tell me you love me, and you don't. Don't ever say it just because I say it. So if I were to say it to you first, I don't want you. Don't respond back with the same. When you say it, it needs to be real, right?" And I did. I was the one who said it first, and I said it first. I'm gonna say a good month or two before she ever uttered the words. That sounds so cliche. What took it further than friendship? Are y'all still friends? Yes, we are still friends. Oh, definitely. We're definitely friends. Um, Actually, the beautiful thing about it is that the friendship that we cultivated was the foundation that the relationship was built on, and it's the thing, and it's one of the things that we make sure we maintain. Um, and it's an unspoken maintenance. Like, we don't talk about. We haven't talked about it. We got to make sure we maintain the friendship. We still do things that we did as friends. We still do the things that kept us from friends. Oh, because you slept with a friend and then you were not. And all honesty, let me tell you a little story. Hold on. Let me tell you a little story. You married a stranger and it's been 20 years. It can happen. Um, I married a stranger and 360 days later it was over. Even though I had knew her for 7 years, that was a stranger because I thought I knew the person. But I married another stranger, and that was over in 6 years. But so, um, story time. You remember I used to do videos on YouTube called Story Time with an Alchemist. Anyway, so story time. The thing about it is that when I first met Angie, she came to my lounge. She had had a little too much to drink that night. And I thought, I would never, and there's no way in hell I could ever date this woman. Cause she was wilding out that night, y'all. Yeah, I'm telling it. So then, but she comes in a couple days later. And after she comes in a couple days later, we sit down, we have conversations. Twice. We have conversations. And um, she turns out to be a really cool person. So I was like, oh, okay, she real nice. She real cool. And she keeps coming back in, and, every now and then. And, we're having good conversation. I'm like, our energy, our vibe is connecting and everything. So we are quickly becoming friends at this point. And then to the degree that, and I was dating someone else at the time. And then there was another young man in here. And this young man, he saw Angie and he was like, oh man, I don't know if Renz is dating her or not. Let me ask him. And he pulls me to the side. He asked me, hey, you and Angie are together? I told him, say, no, man, I got another woman. I'm dating somebody else. Right. And he says, he said, so is she single? I said, no. I said, oh yeah, she's single, man. She good people and everything. And I tell dude, hey man, ask for her number, get her number. She real cool. So my man goes and he gets her number. And then they decide they're going to go out on a date. He calls her up one day and he says, hey Angie, I want to meet you at Chipotle for lunch. So they go to lunch at Chipotle, get them a burrito. Well, while at the Chipotle lunch, my man decides that he was going to tell Angie about a very private men's only conversation that was held here in the lounge. I was telling the guys, I'm 51. The other guys are in their 50s, coming up in their 50s. Hey, man, we got to start being preventive, and if it hasn't already started, you start losing your testosterone levels as you get older. We're having a discussion about what to do to prevent it, to keep the testosterone levels up and that sort of thing. And one gentleman had prostate cancer and he was suffering. He had a prostate surgery. He had removed his prostate. And he was truly suffering in the ping, the strength of the ping area. But this gentleman decides that on the Chipotle date, he was going to say, well, Renz being there talking about how, his thing don't work. That he being there talking to dudes about they need to eat this and eat that because, he might be having problems. I don't know if you want a man who having problems. So this gentleman broke two codes. One, he broke the bro code of the lounge, that what we talk about in here as men are certain subject matters are to maintain in that circle, because it's an area where men can be free to be vulnerable. Then the other part is I hooked you up with her and you dogging me out in front of her to try to get points. But then she tells him that me and Renz are cool. I'm not going to let you talk about him like that. And why you telling the business of the lounge of men who were obviously being vulnerable? Why you telling me about that? So the cheap ass Chipotle lunch date is over. And the first thing Angie does is call me. She calls me and she says, hey, you might want to be mindful of what you say around, Chipotle. That's what I call him now. Even though I know his name, his name is forever Chipotle. What you say around Chipotle. Because she told me everything that he said. And then she told me what she said. I was like, that meant a lot to me. I'm in a relationship with another woman. Me and Angie were just becoming cool with each other. We weren't even friends yet. We were just cool, had a good vibe, good connection. And she was willing to, on a date, first date, defend that relation, defend me, you know, and warn me of somebody. So, and I'm sure Dark Green, my other Marine, can understand that. That is honor. There ain't nothing like a person who has levels of honor and have the courage to defend that honor. So after that, of course, me and Angie became friends. She has a wonderful porch. When I get off work and I just want to go chill, her porch is in the perfect place to sit and chill. We would sit there and we watch movies. We drink wine, we smoke cigars, we just talk. You know, and the thing about it, I could be completely open and honest and free with our conversation, and she was open, honest, and free with our conversation. But there was no sexual, you know, we weren't trying to get at each other. We wasn't doing anything like that. She was working on some things with herself. I was working on some things with myself, and we would just chill. When you wanted to chill with each other, we had somebody to chill with. Um, and then, you know, the summer came. I had been broken up with the other girl that I was dating for a while, and I was out here wilding, y'all. I was dating about 5, 7, 9 people at the same time, just going out. Like, I had this theory: if I go out with a whole bunch of people, then I won't end up with one, right? And then I can stay out of a relationship until 20. I had a goal. I was going to stay out of a relationship until 2023. I was not going to get into a relationship until 2023. I was going to just focus on business. And if I'm dating multiple people, then I can't get into a relationship because I'm going out with multiple people. That was my logic. That was what I was going to do. And I was doing it very effectively. And it was working because I made sure that pretty much everybody I was going out with was not someone that I would want to have a long-term relationship with. I purposely did that. And I would tell them, I'm not looking for a long-term relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I was very open and honest with these people and tell them that. Right. So, and it was fun, Deborah. To a certain, it was fun because I wasn't going out spending a whole bunch of money either. So it was fun. It was mostly, I did things that were just fun. But the beauty of it, well, there came a hard point. So here comes my brother. He tells me that, hey man, let's go to this motorcycle roundup. It's the largest African American motorcycle roundup in the country. We're gonna go. It's in Baton Rouge. He was like, you know, you want to bring a lady? And I was like, sure, you know, I'll bring a lady. And at first I started looking at the ones that I was dating and saying, oh, I should bring one of them. But you know, if I bring one of them, that's relationship. Plus, I wanted to just make sure I have fun. Who was the person that I had the most fun with every time I was around them? Angie. So I asked her, hey, you want to go? She was like, yeah, this is like a month ahead of time. You want to go with me? She said, yeah, she'll go with me. Um, you know, we go on a couple of test motorcycle rides because she ain't been on a bike with me yet. And we have some good lunches and breakfast and that sort of thing on the test ride. And then we go. We ride to from Atlanta to Baton Rouge. When we get to the house that we rented, first thing I told her, look, I know we're in the same room together and that sort of thing. Um, in my sleep, I might touch you, but I don't want you to feel like there's any pressure. I'm not trying to get at you. I'm not going to try to be intimate with you at all. You know, I wanted you here because I know we have fun. And she was like, okay. Now I ain't gonna lie. In the middle of the night, I rolled over, held, you know, you got a spoon. You can't lay in the bed with somebody and don't spoon. That's gonna happen. You know, but then I rolled back over. But we had because this is the first time we spent all day together for like 3, 4 days. And we had so much fun. Even to the we was even having fun when we got caught in a rainstorm. We still had fun. Um, no couch, and I ain't sleeping on the couch, Deborah. That's shit. Hell no, that's not gonna happen. I'm sleeping in the bed. Like I will never sleep on the couch. You know, if I can help it. No, I only slept on the couch for one period of time because I let my daughter have the bed. I ain't sleep on no damn couch. You can be mad as shit at me. You go sleep on the couch. I ain't sleeping on the couch. But anyway, speaking of couches, we was in the living room and we were just in the living room and we was both stretching and we was doing yoga. Wasn't planned. We just both started doing it. You know, I haven't spent this time with it. You can side eye me all you want to, Deborah. I ain't sleeping on no goddamn couch. Uh, but we was stretching and we was having so much fun, laughing and joking, and it was just. But we weren't there. We weren't laughing. It was about nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was about nothing, and we just had so much fun on that weekend that when we got back, Angie knew of my plan. She knew I was dating other people. When we got back, I told her, "Look, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. Don't care if you approve or not. But you about to become my woman. I'm about to make you my woman, and you're gonna be my woman, and you're gonna like it." I told her something in that effect. Somehow, I told it to her in that kind of realm. She wasn't part of the plan so early in my at this point, but you know, you can't. You can have a plan, but you have to be willing to adjust that plan. A plan that's it doesn't have the ability to adjust is destined to fail. And so that's the it's built on friendship. It's built on loyalty, being honorable. It's built on freedom. Like I know that I can say anything and not be judged. Well, not be judged in a way that's a bad way, because some of the things I say should, you know, I get that side eye. I get that you a little off. You're a little special, you know, because I'm very like safety paranoid. So I mean, you know, and I'm very petty. Y'all may not know this. Yeah, this may y'all may not respect me after this one, but I am very petty. You know, if you do something towards me, oh, vengeance is mine, and it's coming hard, and it's gonna be over. I will do it over the least bullshit. You know, if you try to insult my character, you try to take things from me, or uh, especially if you try to insult my character, yeah, I'm coming at you hard. If you've been with me for a long time, you know you should already know that. You now somebody had asked how many times I've been married. Technically three times, but one only lasted 360 days, so that's not considered a marriage. Um, but I was cool with that one when we were just keeping things off of social media. But when she tried to accuse me of stealing, oh hell no. Try to say I try to keep those people money. Oh hell no. Now I got to go online. I got to do a 1 hour live. I need to let people know exactly what was going on. That all the little the see, I'm very big on protecting, right? I'm never going to come out and say, well, my lady is this happened negatively because my lady, or she's doing this and she's doing that. If something goes wrong in my life and it's between me and my lady, I'm gonna take the brunt of it. I'm gonna say I made the decision. You know, it could have been a decision made by her. It could have been her thought process. But I'm going to always claim the failure. Right? And for me, it's you're never going to have a negative outlook on my lady. And even if we break up, I'm going to let you maintain that outlook. Hold on for a second, people. You are horrible. I can't stand you. I'm thinking that you're on this thing podcast. How you know? You are horrible. You're supposed to be heading cross country. I am, but this is on my way across country. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is the bullshit, y'all. This is the bullshit. I'm sitting here minding this. Somebody tapping on the door. Y'all know I'm about to get mad. Who the hell is tapping on my door? because they hitting the door all hard. And somebody brought me some Krispy Kreme donuts. What is this? So good as gold. If y'all ain't from Atlanta, don't know nothing about Krispy Kreme. And y'all know who this somebody is. And it's Angelina. It's Angel. I've been talking about you the whole time. I know you know it. Right. Yeah. I know you heard it. I know. And I was wondering why you ain't no side eyes or nothing when I was talking about Chipotle. And you wasn't saying a dang on thing. And see, this is another thing that irritates me about it. See, I'm in this lounge all the time, and I get to go and I get to do things for her. Like, I love taking, my petty ass love to take flowers or stuffed animals or something to her job to make those other women jealous, but also just to make her feel good. Like, you know, I make her feel good. That's all good and well. But really, to make them other women jealous as hell, I love doing that. But she takes better care of me than I'm able to take care of her, which irritates me to no end because I feel like it's unbalanced, it's unfair, you know. But I'm gonna fix that shit. I got a plan. I'm fixing it. Like her sneaking over here and bringing me some Krispy Kreme donuts, knowing that. What did you call it? Knowing that she like, I got a little belly right now. She called it Jim Brown. Jim Brown? That was called Jim Brown. And I gotta get rid of Jim Brown. You know, get a little belly. We were just talking, and we just talked about that last night. Just talked about that last night. I did give it that time frame. So I'm eating these Krispy Kreme. Ooh. Oh, it sure is. YouTube is delayed like a champ. But you know what's funny? I shouldn't tell you this. Some vanilla ice cream and chop up a Krispy Kreme donut. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, vanilla ice cream, chop up a Krispy Kreme donut, and blend that joint in a milkshake. That is good. Actually, you got like 4 types of ice cream. Yes, Deborah, Angie. She showed up here and brought me some donuts and snuck in. She is supposed to be heading across town right now to another one of her offices in BFE, but she detoured. I am not on the way. This is not on the way. I had to go see the car. Really? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So slight detour. KK make you crash your car if the hot sign is on. You know it. You know it. So it wasn't really too much of a detour. But yes, this is the kind of thing that keeps our friendship growing, but keeps our love relationship growing. Right. Deborah could say, "Hey, Angie, hey, girl." Hi. She probably didn't hear nothing. Hi. Hello. Okay, that's better. Angie be talking so low. Dark Green says, "Shout out to Mama Bear." What was I just saying? We talked about Jim Brown. We talked about the relationship. What keeps the relationship going. I don't know. You was. I fucked up your train of thought. Yes, you did. You messed up my whole train of thought. It don't matter. Your face was because you snuck over here, and you take better care of me than I take care of you. Your face was empty. As I get more and more time, I will change that bullshit because that's what Tantric is about. Tantric is really spending time with each other and doing certain things. And this little sneaky butt woman over here gonna come over here. Why are you shocked? I mean, my head is playing. C-Max said you got a sister. Not the same. They not cut from the same cloth, bro. They not cut from the same cloth. I gotta tell you, they are not. Not that she's a bad person. She's not. She's not a bad person at all. Yeah, it's you ain't gonna get the same out of you ain't gonna get the same out of her sister that you gonna get out of Angie. Put it that way, right? Yes. Right. And yes, Deborah, this is the tantric. The tantric love, yes. Actually, I do some tantric stuff to Angie that she don't know about. I do. Even though she's never experienced any hardcore physical abuse or molestation that many women experience, every now and then I do a healing process because even though she hasn't experienced anything hard like that, just the experience of having some bad relationships, you know, I want to fix that. I want to work on that. So sometimes, and don't be trying to change it when I do it next time. Oftentimes, actually, sometimes when I'm performing oral, I would take my right hand and I reach up and I grab her right hand and hold her right hand. It's a form of identifying security. And then I would take my left hand and I would rub my left hand. I would keep it on the heart a lot, but then I would sometimes rub it from, the mound up to the heart and back and forth, right? Moving her energy and healing it. And as I'm down there, I am thinking about her healing from previous relationships, letting go of any pain or hurt from any relationship. And I'm sending that energy into the sacral chakra and up into her heart chakra while holding her hand, providing security. Don't tell her that I do that sometimes. Don't tell her that when we lie in bed, I purposely will take my feet and put them up under, well, put her feet on top of my feet, or put my feet up under her feet so that her feet are sitting on top of mine, and then I will hold on to her chest, which is saying I'm securing the feet up under you is security. Holding the heart, I'm securing your heart. This is how we sleep we start out sleeping this way most of the time. At some point, I'm going to roll over, but we start out sleeping this way. Right now, it's all about me securing her. That's why we haven't done a heart hold meditation yet, because it's me securing her, making sure she feels secure in a relationship. That I'm not the previous relationships. I'm not the guys that go out and hurt, right? So you suck out the bad. Love it. Damn, Deborah. She said you suck out the bad. But y'all don't tell Angie that's what I'm doing. All right? Don't tell her that's what I'm doing. She's sitting over there, but she can't hear me. C-Mac said, damn, no wonder you bring me donuts. I'm going to tell you, the thing about she's just an amazing, genuine, considerate person and caring person. And that was a big thing for me. I am very considerate. I consider to the point where sometimes when I'm sitting in a room full of people, I would consider what I'm about to say as to how it would affect everybody in the room. And I may or may not say whatever I wanted to say because I'm considering how it's going to affect everybody. Certain things that most of the time when I'm getting ready to do something, I'm considering how it's going to affect other people. Shit, I wanted people to think that same way towards me, but it's been a challenge to get it. But that little woman over there, she does that, and she's very considerate. Now she petty as hell, just like me too, which may not be a good thing, but it's a great thing because let me tell y'all. So we weren't even dating yet, right? We were just friends. The phone dropped. We were still just friends. Yeah, we were still just friends. This is another reason why she had to become my lady. So when she told me about Chipotle, right? And we were just friends. We weren't even dating, y'all. And Chipotle came in here. So I told her, send me a picture, neck up, but you looking very sensual and sexual, like really like ooh la la kind of deal, right? And she was like, why? I said, because Chipotle here. And I'm gonna drop the phone so that he can see it. So she sent me the picture. Now she participated. She sent me the picture. And I waited for the next person to come in the lounge. I got up to go over there and I made sure I dropped my phone with the light on, her picture on the face of it, so that he could see her face on my phone. She joined me in my pettiness, y'all. I was like, I like this woman. We were just friends then. We haven't even went on the road trip yet. And I was just like, oh, this me and her are friends. This my road dog here. We good. You know, we gonna have some, I can have fun with her. You know, so it was incidents, it was moments like that that kept happening, that she is just like, by the time we got to going on that road trip, you know, I was like, I'm making this woman my lady. You know, and I had told several people I would never date this crazy ass woman. To which she rubs that in my face from time to time. Every now and then she's like, nah, go on. You said you would never date me. I did. I was wrong though. I was wrong. Because, and what is it? I would have missed my blessing. And it's nice to have somebody to laugh with. It is nice to have somebody to laugh with. Because I'd have missed my blessing. Those are inside jokes. If you weren't here, you don't know those inside jokes. So, but yes, she is. You need to go, don't you? I'm going to say, I just came to share some love. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to hold on. I gotta walk out because she knows she doesn't walk out to a car without me. Now, Facebook might still hear you because his microphone's on me. Not a good thing. Facebook, I'm gonna leave this microphone right here. Come on here. Let's see. Oh, somebody rented the space already. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I know, they were both coming I'm coming. I need to seriously do some editing. Okay. All right. Peace and blessings. Peace, all beings. So, hell, I done lost my train of thought. She done threw me completely off. But I appreciate her coming through. It's kind of interesting to be having this conversation and for that to happen. That was not planned at all. That was not planned at all. For her to come by, she's supposed to be heading way out, 45 minutes away from here, to the office. But anyway, that's the thing. Even though we are having a wonderful relationship right now, we are still growing and maintaining those differences, those challenges, maintaining the things that have made the relationship work and growing it even more so. And the fact of the matter is, both of us have the mindset that it's not something that you stop doing. The reason why many relationships fail is because you stop growing with each other. You stop doing things that keep the relationship connected. This is why I was saying that the tantric relationship is something that you continuously do, period. It's not something you ever stop. So that you're not sitting in a situation that's like that. So, Holly, 20 years is a different world. You're exactly right. 20 years is a different world. So let me tell you about my first marriage then. In my first marriage, we were together for 22 years, married for 17 years. And that was the yo-yo marriage. That was the one where I had to say something every 2-3 weeks. And then everything's good for a couple of weeks. And then, I say something every 2-3 months. And then everything's good for about 2 weeks. And then everything goes back. And we started in ninth grade. I was in the ninth grade when we first met, and we was, dated, with friends, then dated, and all that kind of stuff. But somewhere around 19, somewhere, okay, in around the third year, we started growing a little bit apart. Our experiences weren't being shared as much, and we weren't growing together in those experiences. And then I had a stressful job, and I let that get the best of me. Definitely let that get the best of me. And then by the time and we was in the Marine Corps. Well, I was in the Marine Corps. But as Dark Green know, if you in the Marine Corps, your spouse is in the Marine Corps. um, but we started growing apart, you know, in those 20 years. And it is very difficult to grow it back together. Around year 11, we separated. Tried 6 months later, came back together, tried to make it work. Um, Spent the next, 6 years trying to make it work. But it just couldn't come back together. Right? Yeah, that's a lot of stress. Military life is a lot of stress. And then I had a stupid job. I had a even more stressful job in the military. So, but that shouldn't have mattered if you are consistently practicing things that keeps you closer together and you continue to grow together. See, two people are going to you can have the same experience, but your perspectives can be different. Yeah. Yeah. And even though your perspectives are different, you got to bring those to some kind of unified thought process where at least you understand their perspective and they understand your perspective so that you can still somewhat kind of grow together. Um, that's happening now with your desire to be renewed. And I got to tell you, renewal takes a lot of work. Renewal takes a tremendous amount of work. But this is where Tantra can be so beneficial to that work because Tantra is easy to do and consistent. Even if it's something like last night, um, y'all know I don't mind talking about, I'm transparent about my stuff. Last night, uh, get home, go upstairs, take a shower. Well, she's got she done lit the candles in the meditation room and everything, lit the incense, and we stretched and we meditated together. So, and we weren't doing it together. You doing your own thing, I was doing my own thing, but we spent that time together, just stretching and just meditating, you know, together in the room. In a room that's designed for just that very thing. That's the only thing that happens in that room. It's stretching and meditating, right? Um, so, but if you consistently share time like that, um, it draws you closer together. And then when you learn how to speak life into each other as you're making love to one another, as you are covering one another, um, we will go home and watch a movie on the back porch, um, which is something that we used to do when I would go and sit on her front porch. We'd go watch a movie on the back porch, or just go sit out and build a fire, in the backyard, or sit in the front yard and have some coffee in the morning. And it's that time that we're spending together, but and truly communicating with one another. And then since you guys have been in a long relationship, Deborah, you would do heart hold meditations. You would do healing meditations with one another. You would do healing baths with one another. Um, there are a bunch of more advanced things that you two would do because y'all have already been together for a long time. You're already committed to each other. So you go ahead and you do those things. Um, but you have to be committed to the change of doing these things because when you, and look at it symbolically like this, When you commit yourself to the change of doing these things, then you're committing yourself to the change of making your relationship better. You can go to counseling all you want to, and they can tell you a couple of little things here and there. But until you actually physically make changes towards the renewal of and doing something new, and you commit to that new activity, the change is not going to happen. It's not going to be long lasting. You know, it's not. It's going to be temporary, and it has to be both persons. It has to be both persons. Uh, and you shouldn't require a catalyst. Oh, I'm not going to do it if he ain't doing it. Oh, I'm not going to do it if she ain't doing it. There are certain things in Tantra that you have to do individually. It has absolutely nothing to do with anybody else, just you, right? So um, you have to set your energy right, meditate on your own in order to get your energy in right alignment for your mate. You've had a bad day. You've had a stressful day. You need to come home, not go straight to the bottle or straight to the weed or whatever, but go straight to the meditation room and align your energy to clear your mind so that you're not pushing all that stress on your mate. You know, same thing for the dude. You come home, you don't push all that stress on your mate. You need to take time to align your energy. But it's not, let me go hang out at the boat with the boys and all this kind of stuff. Even though I want their money, some guys stop by here because they're too stressed out to go home. Then there's some of them who come here because they're too stressed out because home is too stressful. But you have to be ready to align your energy. Um, get your energy aligned. And whether they're doing it or not, you got to go ahead and do it anyway. I think it's hard for us because we are both very sexual and want to have sex with everyone. So that's why I look into swinging. But after 20 years, that's really hard to incorporate. I don't think so. It depends on you guys, to be honest, if it's hard to incorporate. The new is very attractive, but I can't imagine my life without him. He's my best friend. Um, have y'all talked about swinging? Have y'all had the conversation? Oh, you're jealous. Why would you be jealous over somebody who's just a toy for the night? I mean, or are you being competitive? Like, are you feeling like he gonna leave you if somebody got some better pum pum? If somebody can curl his toes more so than you can, do you feel like he's gonna leave? Or I mean, there has to be some level of insecurity there. Like, I'm not saying everybody should get involved in swinging, but everybody should be confident within themselves in their relationship that if they were to swing, it wouldn't cause a problem. So you think that if he gets some pum pum that curls his toes better than yours, he will leave you? I'm not saying that he's that type of guy, but if he was that type of guy, you don't need to be in that relationship anyway. You should be out of that relationship. If he's truly that kind of guy, you should not be in that relationship. Is he that kind of guy though? Is he that kind of guy? I'm gonna wait for that answer. Okay, so no, he won't leave. You know he won't leave just because there's some poom poom better than yours. Because I'm not trying to be funny, Holly, but there's always some better poom poom. Just like there's always some better ping ping. There's always some dude who can make your woman toes curl and scream better than you can. There's always some woman who can, you know, bring him the heights that he can't ever get to. But when you know the person is committed to you, you are manifesting your own insecurities. And you saying you might want to leave if you get some better ping ping. If you might leave because you can get some better ping ping, then that means what you said earlier, that you can't imagine your life without him, is a lie. Because evidently you can, if you can leave, if some better ping ping come along. No, just a deep connection. You got me confused a little bit now, Holly. You might just want to have a deeper connection with some dude who got who got a better ping ping. Are you in a place where you can talk, Holly? Holly, let me know if you received that advice. Okay, good. It's effort. Yeah, sometimes it's effort. People can get lazy. Oh, let me tell y'all something about swinging or polygamy or polyamory. You know, um, if you've been on here long enough, you know I don't mind. I don't have anything against those. I don't have anything against any of those. You know, I think people should be able to do whatever they want to do, and as long as they can handle it. But Holly, let me know if you're in a place where you can talk, because you coming on. I need to hear your voice. Uh, we need to talk this out, Holly. We need to get this squared away because it sounds to me like you are making your own insecurity. You're superseding what could be a good thing in your life because of your insecurities. But your insecurities are all things you've made up for yourself and not real reality. If you know that he won't leave you, regardless of who has some good stuff, and if you and then you are manifesting that you're creating something that's not there because he would then recognize that everybody is a toy. When it comes to swinging, the other persons are toys. That's how you perceive them. They're nothing to create a connection with. As a matter of fact, you limit how many times you are with the same persons so that you avoid having connections with anybody. Okay, you really can't talk now? Okay, that's cool. But you want to limit those connections anyway. Um, you now polyamory, that's different. Now you're having a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You know, one person or both persons have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You do allow for connections to be there, but there are still, it takes a higher level of maturity. There are still boundaries, even within those relationships. Now, polygamy, that's completely different because now you are married to multiple people. You're treating the relationships are marriage levels relationships. Those there are the only boundaries you have are the boundaries that all three or all four of you set. But if you're just swinging because you want to have a more invigorated sex life, everybody's a toy. They are not humans, they're toys. And you, just like when I was a kid, I had a bucket full of toys or a box full of toys. I don't play with every toy every day. I don't play with one toy every day. I play with different toys, different days. That way, you don't have the attachment. There is no fear. And if you got a man who, so you could be hurting your own relationship, young lady, for your insecurities, for your jealousy, and really, the only jealousy I have is that my lady takes care of me better than I take care of her. So I'm jealous of her ability to take care of me better than I take care of her. That's only jealousy. Is the jealousy is what? So what I'm saying is, the only jealousy that I think is okay is the jealousy you have within the relationship, and it's a good competitive jealousy. Jealousy. It's like I'm gonna love you more than you love me. I'm gonna treat you better than you treat me, and we have this repetitive competition of trying to outlove each other. Well, if you have a competitive, if you have that where you're trying to outlove each other, then your relationship, can it just continues to grow and have deeper and deeper connection because now you're purposely and intended you making the intention to go and love this person deeper. uh, Correct, they are a means to an end, exactly. At work, uh, it's me that's worried. I feel super insecure when I see a girl giving him head or when he is about to actually have intercourse with them. I freak. Yeah, that's inside you. That's only inside you. And it's a legitimate, it, to a certain extent, it's legitimate in the fact that people can feel that way, and it's legitimate because you actually feel that way. I don't want to illegitimize your feelings. Your feelings are real. But if you want to explore this, you are going to have to do the work to get over it. And he needs to do the work to reassure you as well. Um, he should definitely be reassuring you throughout the entire process, especially in the early stages. Should he be off over there getting head and you sitting over there on another? No. If he's getting head, he should hold you right there. You should be the one he's kissing and touching as well while he's receiving. Um, that way, it's about y'all and not about him. Um, initially, it ain't always got to be that way, but initially, just to secure you and you knowing that this is still a connection between y'all. Um, so there are things that y'all can do to do it to help you to get past your insecurities. Um, let me ask you a question. What did she say there? You're just not securing yet in yourself yet. Does it happen when you see that it's a woman that you find to be more attractive than you find yourself, or it doesn't matter? You can think that you're more attractive than the other woman and you still feel that way, or only when you see that it's with a woman that you feel is more attractive than you. I'm curious. Or have you even thought about that? Do you ever even thought about that realization? Because in some instances, I've seen where a couple who was swinging, they would never swing with anybody that she felt that the girl was more attractive than her. She was like no, and he felt like if the guy was more attractive than him, he was like no. So they always made sure that they swung with people who were less attractive than they are. That's how they consider themselves, uh, because they were working through that insecurity of thinking that if the person is more attractive, the other person is going to leave. It's on a. I know it sounds shallow, but it's reality. People, we are all to a certain. We can have depth, but we're going to have some shallowness as well. We gonna walk both, because I certainly am both. When it comes to picking a mate, I'm tell you, if Angie wasn't cute. Mm-mm. If I didn't think that she was beautiful, she would not be around. I don't care how nice treat me, even though I know she'll say something like "You'd have missed your blessing." I forgot. You know what? I can't even remember where that joke came from. We saw something, and that's where that came from. But I can't even remember where that came from. But anywho, I have some levels of shallowness. We was doing a relationship show some about a month or so ago, and somebody asked me about my range, and I was like, "What's my type?" And I told them I have a range. I have a physical range. I have a mental range. I have a responsibility range. I have a range. I'm not going to say, oh, this person just has the most wonderful personality. They are so wonderfully spiritually, but I do not find them physically attractive at all. No, that shit's not gonna happen. They can be my friend. That's it. They can be a friend. That's the extent that they can be. So I have my things. I like what I like. You know, Physical attraction is important. Um, I don't care how much money a woman's make, but physical responsibility, I do care about that. Too many times in this dating, when I was in that little stank dating world, I was looked upon for what financial up I can bring to the person, not for who I am. So that shit had to end. You might trick me a couple times, but you ain't gonna trick me all the time. Um, you don't want to answer the question, Holly? Ask your question, Holly. Answer the question. I need to know the answer, Holly. Do you only feel insecure if the person is someone you find to be more attractive than you? You know, this microphone is in the way of me holding this cigar. And I don't hold it with my left hand that much. But so I would advise, if you're interested in practicing Tantra, um, the cheapest way is to go buy a book. Sometimes. Okay. Yes, sometimes. All right. Um, so some self-imaging insecurities is at play there. Of course, everybody will say, well, the way to work through that is, some people say, just, hey, just, you got to love yourself, and you got to talk to yourself in the mirror and talk about how much you love yourself, how beautiful you are, and all that sort of thing. Yeah, that's true. That's something you can do, and it's something you should do. Other people are gonna say, well, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel more attractive. Go and do those things, and yeah, that's fine. You can do that. That'll help a little bit as well. But the real thing is to recognize that regardless of what that woman looks like, your man is with you because of who you are, is loving you for who you are. That goes beyond the physical, that goes beyond the level, the depth of skin, the size, the shape, the T, the A, the poom poom. He is with you because of intangible things, things that are well beyond that. And coming into that understanding, that's the understanding you have to come to get truly past it, because there will always be a more attractive woman. Always. Always. No matter where you go, there's always going to be a more attractive woman. So you have to find the security within yourself from in realizing that he's with you and that person's a toy. So all that other stuff that you can do is fine, good peripheral things. But that work right there between you and him reassuring you, him securing you, that work is what'll help you get over that insecurity. Because there's more confidence you have in trusting him and his loyalty and honorability towards you, him being honorable towards you, that will give you the strength to overcome this insecurity, because you will know that regardless of the other person, regardless of what this other person looks like, regardless of this other person's sexual abilities, that he going home with you. He's spending his time with you. He wants to spend his life with you. When that's happening, when you have that, that'll help you to get over. That'll help you get past it. It'll help you to deal with it. But you have to know that in the deepest of your knowing, that is what it is. So, like I said, as far as tantra, as far as tantric practices, you can go get a book. Just go get a book. You don't want to pay for my training. My training ain't cheap, but you can go get a book, and you can learn a lot about tantra. Um, you can skip through all the stuff about Shiva and Shakta and all the Hindu stuff and the Buddhist stuff. Some of it is good just to know it, but going through all the history and learning, it's okay. It does have a somewhat of a religious connotation, but just get to the meat of it. Get to the understanding of sharing each other's energy and building our love relationship and having great sex. Let's get to it. Let's get. What are the practices we need to do? What is the meditations we need to do? What are the positions and time and all that kind of stuff we need to do? Just jump to that. I read through all the books, and well, not all the books, of course, but I read through a lot of books about tantra. Back, I started studying tantra in uh, 91, 91, 92. Yeah, 91. All right. And so I read all that, Shiva and Shakti and this type of tantra. You got Tibetan and Tibetan Buddhist and the Hindu Buddhist, and Indian Buddhist and Hindu versions, and you got this Orthodox kind, and you got this non-Orthodox kind, and it's like you got Jainism, and it was just too fucking much. It's literally too much. So I just kind of like whittle it down to just the self-sustaining aspects of Tantra by itself. Kind of like how people have done yoga. Although you can find all different variations of yoga and what it does and what it's part of it, then you whittle it down to just the exercise and the energy, right? Oh no, you're fine. Working and listening, that's probably what most people are doing right now. And that's pretty much what I've done with Tantra. It's just whittle it down to the bare of what I need and what I believe, what I think is helpful to people. And people I've worked with have gained greater perspective and deeper relationship. Some people, because I'm honest about everything, some people wind up having to end their relationship because they realized, but they ended it peacefully because they realized that they shouldn't be together. They weren't energetically compatible, and that they have been fooling themselves and lying to themselves for the sake of how much time they have been together. Or one couple was because they knew that them two together would have been a financial powerhouse. And time doesn't matter either. Just think about what Deborah said. Married a friend, didn't last. Got with a friend, it didn't last. Got with a stranger 20 years later. I met a couple. What was this, in 2017? Yeah, 2017, met a couple. They met on a Tuesday. They got engaged on Thursday. They got married on Saturday. And when I met them, they had been married for 7 years, had a 3-year-old kid. And I thought that they had just got married, and that little kid was like the other couple's kids, because they were still just as giddy, and you could the energy was palpable. You could feel the energy coming off this little couple. Yeah, and I was like, you are crazy. There ain't no way I'm gonna meet somebody on a Tuesday, get engaged on Thursday, married on Saturday. But here it was 7 years later. And what's funny, they met at the wedding of the other couple that they was with. And you would throw that off and say, oh, she at a wedding, he at a wedding, they felt the wedding energy. But somehow they felt that wedding energy. It cultivated, came with one of them damn Chinese avatar balls, Indian, whatever the little avatar people are, Indian, whatever they are, little avatar ball, and he got rookin'. They kept that energy going. Because somehow, it's been, all right, time doesn't matter. Is what you put into the relationship. Each other. That's right. That's what mattered. And that's what that couple did. They put it in. 7 years later. And that was in 2017. So they got what, 5 more years, 6 more years on top of that. I'm pretty sure, I'm quite positive that couple is still together. I would not, because they was keeping that energy. And when I talked to them, they had such a great disposition and thought process on their energy. Y'all hold on for a second. I got to unlock the front door just in case somebody comes. How you doing? It's a little rainy outside, so I can't see if somebody approaches. But yes, you make sure some of these TVs are on. You have to it's all about how much you have to put this time and energy in. It's a constant thing. It's something you constantly have to do. If you're unwilling to put in the time and the energy, then it's not a relationship that you should be in. You should let that relationship go. You should find someone and be with someone that you're willing to put that time and energy in. And if you're not willing to do it, don't do it. Just don't do it. Stay by yourself. Don't go hurt another person. But if you're in a relationship, you can make the dedication to one another to do it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be, because if you've gotten into a routine, gotten into a habit of doing certain things, of having a certain lifestyle, then that's a habit you've created. And it's not easy to break habits. You've gotten into what we talk about from the book Outwitting the Devil, right? You've gotten into a hypnotic rhythm of things. And once you've been in a hypnotic rhythm of something for an extended period of time, oftentimes breaking it is next to impossible. So, but the only way to break it is to change the rhythm. You have to change the rhythm, whether you got to change the environment. One of the things that early in my life, I would not allow a television to be in the bedroom. I will say that once the television was in the bedroom, it became a distraction. Because you get caught up watching show after show after show after show after show after show. Technically, we still don't have a TV in the bedroom, got a projector in the bedroom. But I will sneeze. I don't like sneezing. But neither one of us get caught up into shows. And because neither one of us get caught up in the shows, I don't make a big deal out of, Angie was used to having a TV in the bedroom. I was like, no TV in the bedroom. But because neither one of us get caught up into watching shows, I released that. I let that go, because it's not going to be a distraction, because it's rarely used. And then I look at what she uses it for in the bedroom. She uses it to go to sleep sometimes. And I was like, okay, most of the time she's using this to go to sleep. So it's not that she's sitting up here being distracted watching shows in the bedroom. So that's not going to be a problem with us, because that's not something that I'm going to do. I'm not sitting up in the bedroom watching. Every now and then you watch a movie, you watch something, that's fine. Plus she'll fall asleep within 5 minutes of the movie anyway. So I already know she's got to go to sleep, and I'm just awake. But for that cause, I don't. But if you are a couple that likes to watch a lot of shows, and I'm watching this series, and I'm watching that series, and we watch this series together, and that's nothing wrong if y'all share these series, but watch that shit in the living room. Watch that in the den. Stop watching that in your bedroom, right? Your bedroom is there for two reasons. It's there to sleep, and it's there to do some activities to make you go to sleep. It's for sex. It's for lovemaking, rather. It's for lovemaking, and it's for intimacy, and it's to sleep. That's what your bedroom is for. And even if you got little rugrats running around, send their little butts to their room, they bed, go somewhere, and y'all can go watch TV and watch movies and whatnot. Go into the den, somewhere else. Anywhere else in the house can be where that television is located, but not in your bedroom. That's your sacred space. That's your intimate space. And it should be designed accordingly. Curtains, the wall, whatever's on the walls, the furnishings, everything should be designed for that. Y'all should have a box with whatever little toys you like to play with each other with. Have a box. Go in, I encourage men to become toy masters. We need to know how to use these toys, just as well as a woman does, and it should be incorporated into the relationship. But y'all should be in there talking about these kind of things and sharing that energy and using whatever toys and oils and all that stuff to enhance your intimacy, because tantra is really utilizing intimacy to enhance your connection, the connection of your relationship, the weaving of your heart energy, one and another, towards one and another. So if you're not actively doing this, then what are you actively doing? What are you actively doing? You are actively working. You are actively working to have houses, cars, to have all these things. You're actively working to just be together, hopefully to retire someday. And when you retire, you can try to regain your health, and you can try to regain your relationship or gain your intimacy and then spend that time together. But you've been working all this time. By the time you finish working, y'all don't know each other. You spent so much time floating apart that you looking at a stranger, and now you got to spend all day with this person. This is why most people die soon after they retire, or the divorce rate amongst people over 50 is higher than any other age group, because you took more time to develop your work, to develop your money, to develop your house, to develop all these other things, but you didn't spend the time to develop your relationship. I've said this plenty of times before. Your kids will leave you. Your parents will leave you. Your siblings will leave you. When you stop working, that job will continue on without you. That company will keep going. Everything in your life right now is temporary. Cars, houses, temporary. The only thing, the only person who wants to be with you for the rest of your life is your mate. And yet we spend the least amount of time cultivating that. You're cultivating your career, you're cultivating your kids, you're beautifying your house, you're washing the hell out your car, you're doing all this other cultivation, except for the person that you claim that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because they can wait for vacation. They can wait for vacation. They can wait for a date. They can wait for retirement. No, no. Well, when we retire, we'll be able to spend that time together. He or she ain't gonna want to spend that time with you then. Hell no. All of a sudden, they got golfing buddies, shopping buddies, trip buddies. They got every other kind of buddy. And they probably got a side buddy. I've heard so many stories in here that I cannot repeat about, especially men, working and 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 just got doggone working. And then the joker finally retires or something, and she break up with him. She get a divorce. Or he died and she got a boyfriend 6 months later. Within 6 months, she got a boyfriend. Knowing that boyfriend was around before 6 months ago. Or coming home and finding out that she got a boyfriend. She got a side piece. And then vice versa. Same thing on the other side. Same thing on the other side. She got a work husband. She got a work husband. I ain't never allowed that bullshit. I always thought that was some bullshit right there. You ain't no such thing as a work husband. Because if a woman got a work husband, trust me, she may not have given him the poom poom, but she not thought about it. If the right opportunity come, he gonna get it. I've seen it plenty of times happen. When I had my gym in some corporate buildings, I've seen the shenanigans. I've seen them work husbands. They some big time polygamists up in them corporate buildings, because they the work husband to quite a few women. So if you're not spending time cultivating the one person who wants to spend the rest of their life with you, you don't deserve to have a long life relationship. You don't. Because let me ask you, if you don't cultivate the garden, do you deserve the harvest? Yeah, you planted the seed. That was in the beginning. But if you're not keeping off the bugs and keeping off the disease and keeping off what is the little rats and animals, if you're not protecting it, if you're not watering it, if you're just saying, well, the garden will grow if the sun shines, if the rain falls. That's how most people are in their relationship. you know it'll grow if the sun shines, if the rain fall. I would just let nature. It'll be whatever it's going to be. Things are going to be whatever they were destined to be. I hate that destined to be bullshit. Whatever they were destined to be, if it's for me, it'll be for me. If things work out, then it was meant for it to work out. No, shit works out because you put forth the effort to make it work out. When have you ever seen a farmer not watering the fields, not putting up fences, not irrigating, not keeping off the other bugs and animals? When have you ever seen a farmer just say, well, I'll just put it in nature's hand? You don't. You work that thing. You work. Yeah, got to pull them weeds. You work them things. You don't see that. But yet people do this with relationships. If you did that at your job, never if you I'm you know if the growth in the job happened, it just happens. And then you watch other people get promoted over and over again. They out there taking the extra classes, the corporate classes that they need to take. They are doing the extra work. They doing all these other things. They get promoted. They going back to school, getting their education. They get promoted. You don't, because you just, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If they see my work and then they come to me and they just gonna give me the job, you never go ask for a raise. You ain't getting it. But I bet y'all butts be doing that. I bet you people go out there and they put that work in. That's right. People do what they want to do and don't do, and what's that? What they want to do, to be there anymore. Oh, and they don't want to be there anymore. Yeah. But if you want to be there, you got to cultivate it. If you want a long lasting, loving, amazing relationship, you got to put some work in. After a while, it won't even feel like work. Look, when I go over to Angie's job and drop off them flowers, she thinks that I'm holding them behind my back so that she can't see it. But I hold them behind my back just to make sure her other coworkers can see it, because that's where they are. They behind me when I walk in the door. I want to make sure they see it, because sometimes she put it behind her desk, depending upon how her desk is arranged. And she got a high desk, so sometimes it's like that. I want to make sure they saw it. Take a look. But going to do that, it's not even an effort thing. It's not even something. Here's the thing about it. Most of the time when I go do it, it's out of my way. It's out of my way. I don't have to run around as much in the mornings as I used to. So when I go do it, especially this last like 3-4 months, it's literally out of my way. But even though I fussed at her for going out of her way today, and bringing me these donuts, y'all just lucky I don't like eating it on camera, because I would be munching on one of these things right now. But I will. It's not even work. It's easy. It's beneficial. I enjoy it. I like it. So it doesn't even maintain this feel of work after a while. It becomes easy. It becomes just part of what you do. And the more it becomes part of what you do, then building the relationship becomes easier. Then you just have to be mindful of all the changes that you start happening in your life. You have an experience. How did that experience affect? How did you have an experience? How did that experience affect you? How did that experience affect her? Let's talk about it. Let's bring it into a unified perspective if we can. If not, let me understand you, and then you understand me, and then we know how to function and build with each other thereafter. That is the movement, right? And you can have one of We saw this beautiful couple Friday. I love this little old couple, little old couple. And I'm gonna tell you, my man looked like he was suave back in the day too. Like I like the dude. We was at the High Museum. I told you I was gonna be at the High Museum. They had their first jazz third Friday of the month. They have jazz at the High Museum here in Atlanta, and we were sitting outside eating. It turned out a young lady that I've known for a while. She was vending there with her food. So we sitting out there vending, and who's her name is Angie too. And there's this couple sitting over there, older couple. They just so sweet. They just look like they still loving each other, having their little conversation and everything. Um, when he got up, of course he reached to hold her hand to pull her up, and they just look, and they were both looking nice and dapper. You know, it was loved it. Compared to another couple who was sitting like three tables over, who was probably in their now that couple was probably like in their 70s and 80s. This couple was in their like 50s and 60s. And they sit down and they on their phone. Ain't hardly saying nothing to each other. Then they might say something every now and then. Then they on their phone. That other older couple, no phones. They just all into each other. That's it. Just into each other. It was beautiful. It was beautiful because they still, and then they out there. It's about. I'm guessing it was about 9 o'clock at night around this time frame. It's nine something at night. Walking the High Museum is not. It's not a hard walk, but they there and they walked it to get to the jazz. You got to. You got to come from the parking deck across the whole building and the symphony building into the high, down the hallway to get to the where the jazz is being played. And I don't know if they walk the exhibits, but they still out at 9 o'clock. They ain't at home sleep at 6 o'clock, waiting to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning so they can catch the early bird special. They still out there. They were still out there. Got his little fedora on. Angie did tell me that I better not ever buy. He had the little sweater, the sweater jacket. She was like, "You better not ever buy a sweater jacket." I was like, "Nah, my sweater jacket gonna be smooth though. When I get older, because I ain't gonna ever get old. When I get older, and if no matter where I'm at, it feel like I'm cold. My sweater jacket gonna be smooth. We gonna have a nice collar on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be smooth in mine. You know, I'm just never gonna do the shorts with the black socks and the sandals and the t-shirt. We never gonna do that one. But if you want to have that kind of relationship, you have to keep on going. You have to build the relationship. Now, there's a falsity out there, and I'll call it a falsity. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but it's a real word today. Just because you see a couple that's older and they together, don't mean that everything's great. And that's why I drew the comparison between those two couples. Because the one that would look like they're in their 70s, 80s, they seemed like they were happy. Um, I'm getting this damn sweater, Angie. They seemed like they was happy. But the other couples seemed like they weren't. Sometimes these couples who are older, they together because back in the day, women didn't have options of getting divorced. You were a pariah if a woman got a divorce back in the day. You didn't have financial abilities if a woman got divorced back in the day. So when some of these old people are still together, it's not out of love, it's out of finances. But that couple appeared to be together out of love. I love that. That was great. The old creepers. I don't know what creepers you're talking about, unless you still, unless this is behind and you're talking about the shorts with the black socks and the sandals. But I'm not talking. I'm talking about that older. You said you the one who pointed out that couple. You said that you love old love. And I'm talking to Angie. She said that she's on the YouTube now. Um, yeah, but that old couple they were cute. I enjoyed them. And we saw some young couples out there. who seem to have some great affections towards each other. Oh, that's right. Did they go their separate? No. Okay. So there was this old couple. Who went their separate ways? That was the ones who was on their phone. That was the couple. That was the couple who was like probably in their 50s or early 60s. You know, because she had to shave head. They, the ones who was on their phone, yeah, they were creepers because when they got up to leave, he went that way and she went that way. So I think they was having a, secret rendezvous. But I'm talking about the old couple who, big, tall, lanky dude, that couple. But yeah, that was the creepers. That was, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, there was some sneaker leak going on out there as well, which I wouldn't do it at the high. That is in a highly public place that a lot of people know to go to. Why would you bring your sneaker leak to a place like that? Yeah, she did. She walked fast. She walked faster than him. It's another shared thing about me and Angie. We like to observe people. We love to observe people. Um, but yeah, yeah, they were older. I'm giving them some credit. You know how black don't crack, so they might have been 70. You know, but they didn't care that they was out in the public view like that. But they sure look creepy. Us too. Oh, watching them. Yeah, love watching people. Watching people is hilarious. This is hilarious. We saw something that was. I know this ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. We saw something that was. It was. If it wasn't out of a goddamn on movie, it would look like a movie. So you had this cute little girl, uh, sitting at a table by herself, and she had all the makings of. I don't want nobody to. I want somebody to talk to me, but I'm sitting and acting in such a way that I don't want nobody to come and approach me. And we assumed that our guess was that she got stood up on a date or something, or she had a date and they done pissed her off. But um, anyway, these three older ladies, and especially one of them, because one older lady with the white hair, when she was in there listening to the jazz, when I tell you she had her little dance on, she was getting it right. And them ladies came and sat down with that little young girl at that table because you know how older women, they don't care. These older black women, they came, sat down there, and you can tell they was giving her the old lady lectures of, girl, you gotta love yourself. You a pretty little girl. Why you out here being this way? And you can tell they were grandma, and that girl got her a mama and two new aunts that night. But I thought that I love that. It was straight up out of a movie. You couldn't have written a script for that. But that was so cool that night that when we saw that, watching real people really be more like be more entertaining than television is. Yeah. But I love the fact that those three older women came and sat with that little girl. She had to be like 22, 23. She was a youngin'. And they was giving her, but they made her night though, because when we did get up and go around, she was just a smile.
Mr. Renz.
What's up, man?
How's it going, dude?
Pretty good. Where you been?
Hey, man. I'm at the house.
Y'all see that little joker? I had to card him the first time he came in. Looked like he about 12 years old, coming in here trying to buy a cigar. He do. He looked like he about 12. But yeah, that was cute. But I guess it's about time to start winding it down here in a minute. I'm gonna take care of him before I wind it all the way down, just in case y'all got. So if you got any last minute questions or things, let me know. Oh, uh, man, uh, Vajrayana Buddhism, Buddhists here. Both tantric partners must be very prepared and consenting. Man, wait, why you just now showing up? Why you just now showing up? And then your last part, your name was Lorenz. mine is Larenzo. Why you want just now to show up? I needed you 2 hours ago. But you're right. Both partners truly have to be prepared when it comes to practicing Tantra because the emotional bond that you can create with somebody, if you create that with the wrong person and y'all have a bunch, yeah, and y'all, and that, like if a person already has some red flags, they already got some of your deal breakers at play, and you're trying to be patient and work through them. Hell no, you do not practice Tantra with that person because and think that that emotional bond is going to supersede those deal breakers. It will not. And then you will find yourself having to go through a very long and arduous process of breaking those emotional, spiritual connections with that person. So you do have to be very conscious of who you're doing this with, and both persons have to be very prepared because you're also going to expose like your emotions and your heart and your energy is going to be like an exposed nerve to this person, right? And if they are a manipulative person, they can manipulate the hell out of you um, by capturing your energy while defending their own. So you gotta be. You're right. You gotta be prepared. I'm mad at you just not getting on here though. Been on here for 2 hours. But good point. Post the adage. When you coming in town? Mm-hmm. Thank you, Angie. That's why she the moderator, doing things that I can't do. Before you leave, what you got, Holly? Yeah, he sure being slow in there. He a young rook and cigars. You ready?
Sir.
Give me a second. Holly, ask your. Uh,
I'm trying to put a
I know he ain't no way in touch. Hold you.
I don't think I've seen you.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd seen you yet, though.
That's because I'm out of.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. You still don't work on the cremas?
What?
The crema, the hoja?
Aloha?
Yeah. Nothing?
They slow. They still ain't got their life together.
I like this one right here, man. This is the one I had to come back for right there.
Oh, that one.
I've been trying to find this one everywhere where I live at, and it's just no one has it.
What you do?
It's in Stockbridge, man. So I just be working around this area. That's why I be coming around. Every time I'm in this area, I come by this vision, man. It's coming in here. It's pretty far. It's a far drive.
That is a far drive.
How much is this one right here, Ron?
I don't know.
I didn't see it on there.
Oh, $30.
Nah.
$30. No, it's not 30. I don't know. I have to look it up on here.
Okay.
That's. At one point when my humidor is completely filled back up, that's 250 different cigars.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I am not going to remember. Most of them I don't know. That's the gold, right? ETO gold.
Yes, there it is.
Oh, there we go. It's $8.
$8.
Gold Robusto.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab one more of those.
Okay.
You're gonna have to buy a whole box of these.
You should. Go ahead and grab you another GTO Gold Robusto.
There's no more. That was the last one,
Go
man.
ahead and grab you something else because we'll be buy three, get one free.
Oh, okay.
Whichever one is the least expensive is the free one. You're holding up my show, man. Go ahead. Who up?
That's up your show.
That's not my show. I'll talk bad about you. It's all right. You back?
Yeah, please. Yeah, right now I'm down here like 12 minutes away right now in the neighborhood I'm working in.
Can I work for you again?
We're putting while we're like a supervisor for ANSCO and Associates, we put in AT&T fiber optic to the neighborhood and stuff like that. We literally just did this neighborhood down here. You go down 5-4 and I think it's called like Kingdom Road or something like that. We did that neighborhood not too long ago as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But right now, man, my company letting off a lot of people right now, man. So I'm kind of on the edge. I'm kind of scared. I'm gonna get let go or not. So,
Just make stuff more valuable.
yeah, that's for sure.
Show them your value. You'll be all right.
All right, Renz, thank you, man.
All right, man. Sorry about that. I appreciate you guys' patience with the fact that the store lounge is open and sometimes I got to deal with customers. Before you leave, I know hand holding and touch. Okay, you're right. You should do, I mean, there should be a lot of hand holding, there should be a lot of touching involved in your relationship, involved in your intimacy. But there should be intent with everything that you do. Everything that you do towards your mate, there should be intent to the point where the intent becomes habitual, and even your thought process while you're doing it is part of it. Some things you naturally we have in Western culture that we've picked up from other cultures um, are good things. Like, some of the Western. Let me rephrase that. Some of the Western things are good things, like opening the door for your lady. Uh, her walking on the inside of the sidewalk or whatever, those kinds of things, those things do matter. We've gotten out of even some of those basic things of care and consideration for each other. Way y'all have, I'm not going to say we on that one because I'm not included, but people have gotten less and less into those kinds of things of chivalry, so to speak. But Tantra is going to take it into a whole nother level, a whole nother depth uh, of commitment and sharing and love and connection to one another. So, we got to get ready to get off this thing because I actually got to run a business. But I want you guys to, at minimum, go get a book on Tantra. Go get a book on Tantra. I'm not promoting any author because I really couldn't tell you because the last book I read on Tantra was about 6 years ago. Um, so I haven't read a book on Tantra in a long, long time. But go get a book, get a small book, an easy book to read on Tantra. Um, just get an understanding of some of the practices and how to do those practices. But ensure that you're doing those practices with somebody who is deserving of those practices. The ones that I sneak on Angie, she's deserving of them because it's about securing her right now, making sure that she understands that I am here to protect her and serve her, to keep her, to provide for her, to take care of her heart, so that she feels comfortable in that and secure in that. Once I'm sure from my perspective that she is comfortable in that she is secure in that, and a few other little things here and there, we will start to do some of the heart hold, meditations. We will do some of the other meditations where we are like back to back, or there are certain other meditations that you can do to grow and intensify the connection. Um, she has to know that I'm here for her. That she has to know that I want to be with her for the rest of my life. I have to know that she wants to be with me for the rest of my life, and that's when you do it. That's when you do those kinds of things. All right, when you've made your mind up, because making up your mind is one thing, but then when you continuously practice this, it is a re you are strengthening that mindset with the power of emotion and the power of sex energy. You are strengthening that, and that's when you need to strengthen, because just making it up in your mind is not enough. Just deciding in your mind is not enough. It's just like when we talk about alchemy, and well, when we talk about the hermetics, I should say, um, the law of mentalism alone is not enough. You have to be able to incorporate the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, the law of gender, the law of correspondence, the law of cause and effect. If you don't invoke all the laws in the hermetics, then your mental causation is not strong enough. Your mental imagery is not strong enough. Your thought is not strong enough. It has to be backed up by those things. And when it comes to a relationship, if you are not incorporating the emotional energy, the sexual energy, the protective energy, the power energy, the vocal energy, if you're not, uh, the vocal vibrations, I should say, if you're not putting all of that together, then just the mere fact that you think you're in love and you think you want to be with this person and you think that you want to take care of this person, you think that this person loves you, you think that this person wants to be with you, it's not enough. And your heart energy is not enough by itself anyway. Love does not conquer all. Love does not conquer all. And let me give you an example of this. My dudes, this is for my men, for the men that's on here. If you're bold enough to say so, please say it. Can you be in love with your lady and still cheat on her? Can you be in love with your lady and still cheat on her? I'm waiting if y'all bold enough to respond to this. It doesn't mean that you are cheating on her right now or that you have, but can you be in love and still cheat on her? Can you love multiple women at the same time? That's my guys. They all saying yes on both channels. They saying yes. Now, ladies, don't be afraid of this. Don't take this into the negative. Don't take this into the negative of, well, men ain't shit, and they gonna cheat on you anyway, and all of that. What I'm trying to get across to you is that love is not enough. Love is not enough. You need to have that good sexual energy. You need to have that good vocal vibrational energy. You need to have the good thought energy. You need to have consideration. You need to have it's all encompassing is what I'm getting at. There's more to it than just love. Too many people think that love is enough, and it's not. It is not. If y'all can't communicate with each other, love is not enough. If y'all are having bad sex, love is not enough. Or boring sex or mundane sex, love is not enough. If y'all are not mentally challenging each other and becoming more sapio with each other, love is not enough. You see what I'm saying? It takes um, more than just love. See, preacher, you might as well. We good if they're cheating. Then what's the point of love? The point is, it takes more than love to build and maintain and have an amazing relationship. And if you practice tantric tantric love, tantric sex, it is a very powerful way of building that strong relationship that you can have with someone where there is no cheating. You don't have to worry about cheating because you're all encompassing. Instead of having one piece of the pie, you got the whole damn pie. And too many people think that all they need is that one piece. You need all the pie, or as much of the pie as you can get. You need at least 80% of that pie. To a certain degree, yes, it is complex. Thoughts do pass even if you're in love. Yeah, thoughts. We where was I talking about that? I don't know if I was talking about that on the video or not. But oh, yeah, I was talking about that. What's today? Wednesday. On our Tuesday video, um, on Tuesday's video about Exodus, you can't control thought. You're going to have fleeting thoughts. Thoughts are going to go through your mind. We talked about that yesterday when we was talking about the part where it said that coveting the if you covet, don't covet another man's wife, property, basically. And even when Yeshua was saying that, if you even think about having sex with a woman and you committed adultery, it's like, come on, man, you cannot police thought. Everybody's going to have a wayward thought. Everybody's going to have a thought. So, yeah, we're going to have thoughts, but actions, acting on the thought, that's the difference. Your action or non-action on a thought is the difference. I think yesterday, I even said, and all the men who was here yesterday, we all agree that damn near every woman we see, we evaluate that woman whether or not she can get it or not. But it doesn't mean that we are going to go and do it. It doesn't mean we're going to go after it. It's just a thought that passes through your mind. If she has a nice butt, she has a nice butt. She got a nice chest, she got a nice chest. She's pretty, she's pretty. If she has any attraction whatsoever, then we're going to recognize that attraction, but that doesn't mean that we want that woman. It's just a thought. So, although thoughts are very powerful, when you have all the other aspects of a relationship with somebody, those thoughts oftentimes, most of the time, 99% of the time, are meaningless as hell. They're meaningless as hell. And I mean that literally. They're meaningless as hell. Y'all know what channel y'all on, so it's being saying it's meaningless as hell is as meaningless as the existence of hell. Meaning that that thought just really doesn't even exist. Yeah. Because the only thing that you are so focused. What was I was watching that movie not too long ago, like a week ago. Um, it's the reverse of what women think, what men think. And when they was in the pool hall, and she was able to read old boy's mind, and she asked him, "Don't you think the other girl's cute or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, she's nice." But then his thought was, "Why would I give that any attention when I got a woman like you?" You see what I'm saying? So when you got a woman or a man, but in this instance, I'm talking about a woman. When you got a woman, when a man has a woman, and she filling that bill at 80%, yeah, she nice over there. But why am I gonna give her any extra thought or time when I got this right here? These jokers in this room who come in here, they know when the clock strike 10 o'clock, I'm getting the hell out of here because I'd rather go spend it with my lady than be with y'all. You know, we was planning a motorcycle trip the other day, yesterday. Dude said, "Is your lady going?" I said, "Hell yeah, she going." Oh, I wasn't planning on taking mine. I was like, I don't give a shit. I was taking mine. It's all fine and well to go on a motorcycle trip, to ride bikes and everything. But y'all can go solo dolo. I'm not. I want to be with this woman. So if I go, I want her to go. And now if she just don't want to go, that's different. Then I'll be going solo dolo. But while I'm down there, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just having fun. I'm looking at bikes, riding. But the point is, my preference is that she's with me. That's my preference. Because, like I said, everybody else in life gonna leave you. I wanna cultivate the person that wants to be with me for the rest of my life. You know, when I'm 150 and deciding whether or not I'm gonna do another 50 years, you know, I want that person with me for that decision. But for real, time to go. Time to get out of here. Um, it's almost 1 o'clock. We put in how long? We 2.5 hours a day. We had a little delay because I had to handle some business. But I appreciate you guys as always. Everybody who donates to the channel, I appreciate you. Uh-oh. Sorry. The microphone died on the YouTube, Facebook. But I was just saying that, you know, rather be with the person I'm cultivating my relationship, cultivating the lifelong partnership with than a bunch of dudes, and never gonna waste my time hanging around some uh, trying to make everybody else happy when that's the person I need to be focused on making happy. And that's really that is my mode. Even when it comes to my kids, I focus on making my lady happy more so than making anybody else happy. Because, you know, even though I love my kids, don't get me wrong, and even though my oldest claims that she's gonna take care of me when I'm older, no, she not. I ain't living with that little crazy child. Sid ain't gonna let me walk out into the woods if I want to. But uh, love all as you would yourself to create a heaven on earth. I like that one, Kingdom of Love, and that's how I look at it. Well, I ain't gonna love all, but I'm gonna love my woman that way. I'm gonna love my kids and my family. I'm gonna love people who are family to me that way. Everybody else, y'all alright. It's hard for me to let people in, um, exit and come back in, Holly. Oh no, the microphone kind of died, so I had to take that microphone off and so that you can hear through the regular phone. But at the end of the day, get you a book on Tantra, study Tantra, learn how to cultivate those higher levels of energetic commitment and share energy with one another. And if y'all are doing this together and both of y'all are prepared, and that person doesn't exhibit any of your red flags, your deal breakers, and you want to make a life with that person, you want to give it a go, start practicing tantric sex and tantric meditations with that person. If you're a guy, even if you know what, there are men who have been abused as well. There are men who have been hurt. So even women can even practice tantric healing towards a man. So practice tantric healing towards one another, you know. And actually, you should practice tantric healing towards one another before you actually start doing things like heart hold meditations and covering. Well, coverings are part of healing, but well, coverings are part of healing, but they're also protective. But um, start, you know, do those things. And if you've been with somebody for a long time, like Deborah, I believe, then just have that conversation to work those things out, to start doing them. Put it on a schedule, like schedule it first until it becomes just something you do. But there's nothing wrong with scheduling, building your commitment. If you were building a building, would it not be on a schedule? Would the project manager not put everything on a schedule? You can't start coming up building scaffolding for the second floor if you haven't built the first floor. You can't start building the first floor if you haven't built the foundation. Everything's on a schedule and you have to put things on a schedule. You can't have the electricians coming in and you trying to pour the foundation. That's not going to work. You see what I'm saying? You put it on a schedule. So there's nothing wrong with putting things on a schedule, putting it on a calendar. Put that shit on the calendar. Look, I told y'all I'm horrible at giving gifts. I used to be really bad at giving gifts. So I had to put the gifts on my calendar when to give gifts. You know, until it became more of a habitual thing for me. Then I was like, okay, I got it. You know, but even now, I still have to sometimes remind myself, put reminders up for things like that. So don't be afraid of doing that. But if you find that you got that, if you want to incorporate that into your relationship, put it on a schedule, make it happen, and start doing it. Especially if it's somebody you've already decided you want to be with, just start doing the work to make sure that you're with that person, especially after you retire and now y'all acting like y'all don't know each other. But continue to grow. The reason why we do relationships on Wednesday is because although this channel is dedicated to people that walked away from religion, after you walk away from religion, one of the hardest things to deal with is the loss of relationships that you're going to have when you walk away from religion. Because some people are not going to like you. They don't want to be around you. They're not going to deal with you. And you might lose the person that you love, a lot of people that you love. And the person who stands next to you, your mate, that may be your only rock to keep you from losing your mind when you walk away from religion, because it is like a 12-step program when you walk away, um, which is shameless plug, which is why I'm creating a program to help people walk away, a process, a deconstruction process. We got to help people walk away, to help you when you've made that decision. I'm not making that decision for you. It's something you made already before you met me. But having a strong relationship, having a strong relationship is very vital to your growth, to your spiritual growth. Um, and we need to have those strong relationships. That's why we do relationships on Wednesday. Thursday will be something spiritual. I know I had it in my mind, but I forgot what it was. I know one of the conversations for tomorrow might be exorcisms, talking about exorcisms. And Friday, I have no idea yet. Um, but y'all have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Uh, like I said, for everybody who donate financially to the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Everybody who shares the videos, like the videos, subscribes to the channels, all that sort of thing. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys, and I ask you to continue to share it. We're like in the 7,400 range on YouTube and 12,000 on Facebook, so we want to keep growing the audience, so that we know that we're not alone in this thing. That we got a group, that we know we got a tribe. You know what I'm saying? We have a tribe. Not trying to steer anyone down any given path, but for everybody to find their own path. So keep sharing. Let's keep loving. Let's keep growing. And y'all have a great day. And remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.